Hi, this is Heather Fury, and this is my case study, Internet Use Violations Threats over the World Wide Web, EDL 850. So the case scenario is Dr. Harvey Smith is the principal of Slattery Steno High School in an affluent large city. He has been principal for the past 9 years. The school is known as one of the most prestigious in the state. With that said, Dr. Smith makes sure he hires highly qualified teachers. About a year ago, he hired Miss Tate to teach a highly specialized science course. She was a beginning teacher, an older woman who completed an undergrad, master's, and another year of postgraduate school before beginning her teaching career. Miss Tate runs a very structured classroom. She has very stringent expectations, which many of the students feel is stressful. Parents and students have complained to Dr. Harvey about this. He has addressed the situation, and he's given Miss Tate some techniques to help reduce the stress level within the class for the students. During Veterans Day holiday break, Miss Tate receives an email by an unidentified person that urged her to go to a website and for a personal message. The message was highly suggestive and had a lot of critical comments about her classes and the rigor in her classes. The final comment read, "Who wants Miss Tate to disappear?" She was nervous and upset, so she immediately notified Dr. Harvey. He asked her to send the email and told her he understood her concerns, that he felt it was a prank, and if she could think of anyone that would possibly be unhappy with her. Her immediate response was a student by the name of William Harvey, that he makes comments when her back is turned, and he's very good with computers. The other kids rely on him for help with computers. He indicated that tomorrow morning when school starts, he would speak with Mr. Harvey and any of his friends to see if they had any insight as to who it may be. And he would also, if need be, contact District Technology in the morning to see if they know where the email originated. So, what's the problem? The problem is that Miss Tate received an email that she feels is threatening to her life. Another problem is that her stringent expectations has put stress on the students, and the parents involved and their children are upset because they're scared that their students will experience low grades with Miss Tate's stringent expectations. Dr. Smith has discussed the techniques to make it a better learning environment, but she hasn't taken on his advice. What do I need to know? I need to know the policies of the school on inappropriate technology use. I need to know the policy on questioning students as well. You can't just randomly pull in students just because you think they may be the student, just because they're very good at something like technology. And also, can the district technology person help find out the source? Are we able to go to them to address the situation, or does it need to go higher up? What I know it's an affluent school. A lot of lawyers, children goes to this school. The school holds high standards. The teachers are highly educated. However, Miss Tate may be highly educated, but she has very little teaching experience. There has been parent-student complaints, and basically Miss Tate feels that her life is being threatened. The proposed plan of action with appropriate strategies for implementation. First off, I would obtain a copy of the email. I would then check with all my policies, maybe contact human resources to make sure, or even our law department, to see how they feel we should go about this. Of course, I would talk with District Technology immediately to see if there's any way that they could find the person or source. If the source is found out, I would then contact guardians. I would follow any policies, procedures in place that go along with our technology policy as to enforce misuse. If there's no source found, I would interview maybe staff and students, if the policy permits, to see if we can try to find the person. I would do everything to try to make Miss Tate feel a little more comfortable if the source wasn't found, in that hopefully it was just a prank and no one's really after her. Resolve the issues based on promoting the success of all students. Obviously, you have to give students the benefit of the doubt. You can't just go accusing random students just because, like I said earlier, they are very experienced in technology. Maybe they've made some comments that were inappropriate that you feel are against you. Doesn't mean they're out to get you. So you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. If the person is found, I would look for a teacher-student resolution and hope that they can move forward in the process of their education. I would provide support for both the teacher in that situation, whether they find the person or not. And if they did find, I would provide support to both teacher and student, because obviously the student is having some issues of being in that class with that teacher, possibly even removing the student, if possible, out of that class if there's another course available. And obviously, anybody that does such thing with the usage of technology, I'm sure most policies are against the misuse or inappropriate use of technology, so that person would have to be held accountable, and any person that's involved with it would have to be held accountable. So debriefing the problem, thinking about it. Is the teacher too tough? Is she really putting that much stress on these students that they're feeling that disconnected to make such an accusation or comment about her? It's great that the administrator took immediate action. He followed through when the parents first called on trying to give her some new techniques. He then, when she called him, he was on top of it, trying to give her some reassurance and assuring her that he would take care of it the next day. And also I was thinking, what was actually meant by the email? Did she take it a little too far and go straight to the worst? Could it have just meant that they just didn't want her as a teacher in the classroom anymore, and she was taking it to the next level of they want to kill her? So those are some of the things I was thinking. Feeling. Teacher, like I said, may have taken the email a little too seriously. I kind of didn't take it that way. I kind of took it like, oh, they just don't want her as a teacher in that classroom anymore. So hopefully she could disappear from the classroom. Why would someone send such an email? Why would a student, maybe a staff member, send such an email? What's going on? Is there any dynamics within the staff that's a problem? Are there any other students that maybe she's had problems with that she hasn't thought about, whether it be past, present? So those are some of the things I was thinking. And what exactly can our technology department do to address the situation? Are they able to locate the sources? Are they able to go above and beyond without getting anyone else involved to locate this source? Or is there guidelines that they need to follow when looking for this information? Okay, so valuing. The teacher does have strong expectations, and that is completely okay. There's nothing wrong with having strong expectations for students, but with that in consideration, you also have to be able to connect with the students. So if your expectations are so strong that the students are feeling a disconnect, then I think you need to reevaluate them. Again, give the students benefit of the doubt. Doesn't mean this is a student sending this email. It's just automatically she's thinking that because she's had an issue with this particular student, William Harvey, that she's feeling like it may be him. As an administrator, I'd need to stand behind the teacher, provide her with some techniques again, maybe have some more observations and go in there and maybe have a mentor teacher work with her to show her some other ways around her stringent expectations that may be a little more user-friendly for the students. And as far as the policies, make sure that we lead to the proper discipline action, whether it's against a student or a staff member. Make sure that we know where we need to go with this discipline and that it will be effective to both teacher and student, and hopefully help them to, or teacher and other staff member, depending on who it is, and hope that they can move on and get beyond this. So, reflection on Standard 5 by providing evidence that you as the education leader at the building level applies knowledge that promotes the success of every student by acting with integrity. and make sure that the teacher knows I am taking the threat seriously. I am going to do everything I can to get to the bottom of it and find out who the source is. I want to protect her, but I also want to protect our students as well. Make sure that the parent and the teacher concerns are always addressed in a timely fashion. You can't put these things to the side and expect them to go away. You need to address them and give reassurance to both parents and teachers that you're going to do the best you can with what you have. And then again, for the teacher, provide techniques for teacher academic implementation. So again, provide Miss Tate with some more techniques, since I've already showed her once, how to implement this program in a more effective way that won't put so much stress on the entire class, and the parents won't feel so concerned with her teaching. Fairness. No accusations without valid information. So I can't go accusing anyone until I have valid source information. Just because she feels it's William Harvey doesn't mean it is. And I can't go right after him and discipline him for something I don't know that he did. Again, I would address teacher-student concerns in a timely manner and remain confidential with the information that's being produced to me, whether it be information on the teacher or the students. It still remains in confidentiality, and it's not to be shared with anybody else unless there's legal issues coming forth. Ethical manner. Encourage a continued relationship among staff and students. Make sure that I try to foster a better relationship among her class students and herself. And if in fact this is the student that sent the email, try to mend that. Try to make it better. Find a way to either get them to see each other's side of the situation, or if need be, like I said prior, remove him from the class and find another class comparable to what he is taking. Listen and follow through always with any issues, whether it's parent issues, student issues, teacher issues. It doesn't matter who's telling you, they're all important. And don't sway just because it's in an affluent community. Don't let anyone have an upper hand on you. You still have to provide what's right to these students, teachers, and staff. It doesn't matter if it's a doctor coming forth to you, a lawyer coming forth. You have to be, you can't be one-sided just because they're affluent people in the society or in their city where the school is. You have to think on your own and represent the school in an effective educational manner. Thank you. This is the end of my case study.